What's going on, everyone? Thank you so much for joining me here on Narcissism 101, Cracking the Code with me, Paul Wisdom. Okay, so before we get into it, like I always say, if you want a one-on-one session, you can email me at paul.wisdom_03 at hotmail.com, or you can send me a text message at 647-406-3057. If you want to call, just send a text to that number and just let me know you want to talk about your narcissistic experience, and I'll be more than happy to give you some help, give you some advice, and or if you just want to talk about narcissism, if you even want to talk about my experience, then you're more than welcome to check out the link to the podcast that I put in the description down below, and yeah, then we'll just go from there. We'll figure out what you need to get you started. So what we are going to be talking about today, now that we've taken care of that, what we're going to be talking about today is healing. Did I heal from the narcissistic, abusive relationship situation, such the likes? Yeah, we're going to talk about healing today because I think that it's something that we need to cover because I think a lot of people, quite a few people, don't quite understand the idea of healing. If they need to heal, if they don't need to heal, and I'm gonna go through that. I'm gonna give my own take on that. So, here's the thing with healing, guys. We have to remember with regards to the narcissistic abusive cycle, narcissists thrive off of first thing we have to keep in mind. I mentioned this in probably 9 out of 10 of my videos, is that narcissists thrive off of chaos, confusion, and control, right? And so because of that, knowing that, that means that quite a few people will have to heal, but some people will not have to heal. And here's the reason why, and I'm going to explain that. And in my case, I didn't actually have to really, I didn't have anything to really heal from. It was more of a learning experience for me. It was more of a learning experience for me. It wasn't so much that I had to heal. It was just that I learned some stuff from it and I was able to move on from it. But I'll explain why. Here's the reason why. I mentioned in one of my other videos recently that the narcissistic abusive cycle, the narcissistic relationship, the narcissistic experience is a spiritual warfare. It's a spiritual warfare in the sense that it's a fight between good and evil, a fight between God and Satan. Now, everybody is very different. We're all different. We're all on different paths. We all come from different walks of life. Some of us are more spiritually stronger than others. Others of us are still trying to learn. Others of us are still trying to grow. And so we're all different, right? We're all different. That's a beautiful thing, because if we weren't all different, then there would be no point of living in this world, because we would all be the same. And why would you want to be the same as everyone else, right? So when it comes down to it, here's the thing, guys. How do you know if you actually need to heal? You know you actually need to heal because every time you think back to your relationship or your situation, whatever it was, relationship, a marriage, or a situation, whatever it was, it doesn't matter. Every time you think about it, every time the person's name crosses your mind, anytime you're going about your day and something comes up, like maybe it's a song, maybe it's a type of food that you guys ate together, maybe it's some sort of activity you guys did together, or something you did in your past. Anytime any of those things come up for you, what's going to happen is that you are going to get triggered from that. And when I say triggered, I mean that it's going to set you back in your healing path. You're going to start feeling anxious. You're going to start feeling scared. It's going to start making you feel uneasy. I'm not sure if you guys ever had a feeling of uneasiness inside of your body, like you just feel so uncomfortable. That's how you're going to feel, and that's what's known as a trigger. Now, it's not bad. Keep in mind, if you get triggered, it's not a bad thing. It just means that your body is responding to the fact that you actually were narcissistically abused by this person, right? Because remember, it's an exchange. It's a feeling, and it's an exchange, and it's a spiritual warfare. It's a spiritual battle that is going on between good and evil, between you, the victim, and the narcissist. And so. When it comes down to that, that's when you know that you'll actually have to heal. Now, healing is different for everybody, right? Some people it'll take longer. Some people it will be shorter. Sometimes when it comes down to healing, some people have to go to therapists. Some people don't have to go to therapists. Everybody is very different, right? And all these things are good. These are good things, right? They're not bad. Don't think that it's a bad. Listen to me here. Listen to me here, guys. When it comes down to healing, when it comes down to realizing that you need help, many people think that getting help is a sign of weakness, that they feel as though if they have to get help, that they feel defeated. Guys, understand this. We're not perfect. Nobody on this earth is perfect. There comes a time where all of us, including me included, teaching you guys this content, all of us, when we all need help. We all need help at some point. It's just life. You can't do this life on your own because you're a human being first, right? And human beings, a lot of the times, the way that we think is that we think that we can do this life on our own. We think that we don't ever need any help. And we think that we can just move on and move on. Some people need help, but then there are others that, don't really need any help, right? Now, when it comes down to the healing path, unfortunately, and this is very unfortunate, nobody can really tell you how long it's going to take you to heal, because that healing is dependent on you, really. It all depends on you. It depends on what you do. It depends on how you approach it. It depends on how much work you put into yourself. It depends on how you can wrap your head around the fact that the narcissist never loved you and they can't love anyone else. Listen, that's the reason. That's how I was able to just move on and just be able to just live my life, is because I was able to wrap my head around the fact that narcissists don't love anybody. They don't even love themselves. And because they don't love themselves, how are they supposed to love anyone else if they don't love themselves? How are you supposed to love how are you supposed to love anyone else if you don't love yourself? Right? So that's what I'm saying. It all starts with you, right? This healing thing, it all starts with you, and it depends. Everybody is different, right? We're not all made equal. It's not a one size fits all, especially when it comes down to the narcissistic abusive experience situations that we go through, right? Because they're all different. And I mean, narcissists, they all play by the same playbook. And I made a video on the narcissist playbook. You should go watch that. If this is your first video, thank you so much for joining me here today. But what I'm saying here is that when it comes down to it, guys, the healing path, when it comes down to the healing path, it all depends on the person, right? We're all different. You know what I mean? And so what works for you works for you. What works for you may not work for someone else, right? And so when it comes down to it, my thing is, the easiest way to heal is to realize that the narcissist is the same and they will never change. They can't change because they are reprobate minds of the devil, right? And the devil cannot change. The devil can't, just decide that the devil is just going to be good. No, it doesn't work that way, because the devil is a demon and the devil is evil. The devil loves what is bad. And we empaths, people of God, we love what is good, right? So it only makes sense that, when it comes down to it, when it comes down to wrapping your head around it, you have to understand that, when it comes down to wrapping your head around it, you have to understand that the way to move forward is to know that the narcissist can't love. They don't have any love in them. And when it comes down to it, the person that the narcissist perhaps cheated on you on, right? When they've moved on to the next supply, the next person who they're going to abuse,